Are you disrespecting yourself, your family, your friends, those who love you, those who care about you, those you serve, and all those who you could potentially serve? Are you showing the highest form of disrespect? All because you can't control your impulses. Now, if you've been listening along and been part of this journey, if you're one of the many subscribers I have, please also subscribe so you don't miss an episode of this. I'm here every single day. You'll know that as I entered phase 3 of 126 to Greatness, as in I'd completed 2 full 126 days without missing a single day, and I started the third phase. My goal for the third phase was to see and truly see what my potential could be. What my potential could be if I was ruthless to the things that do not matter. If I was willing to sacrifice and completely cut out everything, and I do mean everything, that doesn't serve me, that doesn't provide value to my life, that doesn't improve my life in any way. Who could I be if I removed those things, if I cut them all out? And that was the question of it. Because when I started this process, when I began this journey, I started and I was disgusted. And disgusted is absolutely the correct terminology. I was absolutely disgusted with myself. I was overweight, I had man tits, I had the stomach that was hanging over it and couldn't see my own dick. I was a personal trainer who would tell you what to do and then go do the fucking opposite. I was showing the highest form of disrespect. And I do firmly believe that not being in shape, not being the healthiest and fittest version of yourself is incredibly, and I do mean incredibly, disrespectful to those that care about you, that love you, especially if you have children. That I think it is your honor, your duty, and your fucking obligation to be in the best physical shape of your life. Now, whenever I say that, I get pushback, and people are like, oh, you're really shallow and vain. And I'm like, it's not about the six-pack and looking good, though that fucking helps, though that is a great asset to it. But you are leaving potential on the table by not being in the best shape of your life. You are leaving so much on the table because you don't have the same level of energy, you don't have the same level of focus, you don't have the same level of capacity. Your body is literally not functioning at its best because you aren't in great fucking shape. Your body can't show up as the best version of itself because you are choosing to neglect it. And it's just the epitome of self-disrespect. People try and tell me that, self-love is doing the things that you enjoy. I can fucking guarantee you, and I do mean that, guarantee you that it is not self-love doing those kinds of things. It is not self-care, not looking after your body. The highest form of self-love is being in great fucking shape, because you're literally like, I care more about being the best version of myself than I do about giving into a dopamine hit, giving into small, simple pleasures that provide zero value to my life. I care more about showing up and leading by example and being the greatest I can be than I do about taking the easy road. Because it will be difficult. It will be hard. You will have to make difficult choices. You do have to make choices that others won't to be that best version of yourself. And that's exactly the fucking point. That it will separate you from all those who do not have that capacity, who do not have that resilience and that fortitude to be in the best shape of your life. But as I say, especially if you're a father, especially if you have children, because you are leading by example. It's not what you say, it's what you do. It's how you show up. The one I always come back to is you will be your daughter's first love and your son's first hero. How you show up in that life matters. How you live your life matters. And one that hit me the other day was a Joe Rogan one. And he was like, one day your children will figure you out. They will figure out who you truly are. Make sure the man that they figure out you are is worth being proud of. Because ain't that the fucking truth? Your kids will work out who you are, who you actually are. All kids do. And you don't want it to be this great fucking letdown that you thought your dad was this incredible man and, you know, he did all these things, that he was worthy of being your hero. And it turns out he wasn't. Turns out he wasn't at all. No. And a lot of that starts, as we discussed yesterday, with resilience and grit and determination. And being in great fucking shape is the beginning of that. It's the starting point of that. That you are in the best possible shape of your life. You show up as the best version of yourself by being in great fucking shape. And then it opens up the capacity that you can go and do whatever you want. You can take on anything and everything that you want. There are no limitations for you because you have built the capacity to do the things that you want to do. You have built a physical body that at any point, no matter what is asked of you, you can handle it. You know, one of the big wake-up calls that forced me into being a better version of myself, to undertake chasing greatness, was when I couldn't do the things that my children asked of me. I was incapable of being the father that they wanted. That daddy had to say no. That daddy couldn't do it. Not because he didn't want to, but because he was incapable of doing it. That is so disrespectful to them. And just heartbreaking to watch them be like, oh, okay, no worries, daddy. To watch their little hearts break because dad didn't, in their eyes, didn't want to play the game with them, didn't want to do the things with them. No, it's not that I didn't want to, it was that I was incapable of doing them. So I fucking changed. But that's how you need to frame it. That you need to think about it, that it's disrespectful to those that you love and care about. That you can't choose long-term greatness over instant satisfaction. That you can't choose your highest purpose and your highest potential over getting a dopamine hit now. Because we all know it. We all know the things that we shouldn't do. We know that we shouldn't eat the junk food. We shouldn't drink the alcohol. That we shouldn't piss away time doom scrolling. That we shouldn't waste our life watching TV. That, you know, we shouldn't watch porn or take drugs or all those kinds of things. We know. We know we shouldn't do those things. And yet we do, because it's just easier. And I had someone the other day and they were like, yeah, but it's not like you can just take a pill and have those things built into you. No, you can't. But on the flip side, it's the easiest, no, not the easiest, it's the simplest thing in the world to make that change. But it's damn hard, but it's so worth it. And the simplest thing to do is just make a fucking decision and then follow through on it. And you just do it over and over and over and over again. That it isn't in the macro decisions. It's not in these giant decisions. It's in the micro decisions, in those daily, tiny, little decisions that we have to choose over and over and over again that make the difference on who you're going to be, on the man that you're going to show up as. So you just make that overall arching decision. I am not going to be that man anymore. I am not going to continue to disrespect my children, my family, my friends, those who count on me, those who need me. I refuse to continue to disrespect them. Fantastic. Now make that decision. Now make that decision every single time. Will I eat that food? Yes, no. Does it serve my highest purpose? No. And it's that simple. And then once you start making those decisions, you can realize that you build up the mental fortitude and the toughness and the discipline and the focus. And then you can build it into other areas of your life as well. You can progress it into other areas. And that's what I'm doing on this phase 3. This phase 1 kicked the shit out of me. And it was just straight up the fitness stuff. But as I've said before, it's personal development as well. Chasing greatness daily is personal development enacted through fitness. The bonus is you end up with a 6-pack. Like, talk about win-win. But it builds the mental fortitude. It builds discipline and resilience, and it builds the skills you need to become the greatest version of yourself. They then transfer into the other areas of your life. And so, as I said, phase 3 for me was about removing every single vice, every single thing that didn't truly serve me, that didn't progress me forward in my life. It was about removing all of those. That was the point. That's what this phase is about. And holy fucking shit, is it hard. Like, every single day of this has been difficult. Every moment of this has been challenging because they are deep ingrained addictions. But that is more of the point. That is the thing that needs to be overcome. That is the thing that needs to get fucking better. That I need to do better at. That I need to... It highlights how much I need it. That the resistance is so monumental to making these changes, to overcoming these things, that it just highlights that I absolutely must overcome these things. That I must continue forth because it is so difficult. More often than not, the more resistance you have towards making a change, the more resistance you have towards doing these things, the more important it is that you actually follow through on them, that you actually commit to the work, that you actually do what is required. Because the resistance tells you that you are on the right path. As I said, we all know the things that we need to give up. We all know those vices that are holding us back. And the problem is most of them are socially acceptable. Most of them seem insignificant in the micro, but in the macro, they're huge. That's why we have to keep making those right choices. That's why we have to keep showing up and choosing a better fucking option on those things, because they aren't insignificant. They actually matter. So yeah, in this phase, I cut out every single thing that didn't serve me, every single thing that didn't progress me towards being the best version of myself. I cut them all out, every single one. And it wasn't easy. As I said, it's not easy by any stretch of the imagination. But being the best version of yourself, being the greatest version of yourself, being in that top 1%, of course it wasn't going to be easy. That's the fucking point. That's why nobody does it. That's why it's so fucking rare to be that version of yourself. Because so few people are willing to do what is required. So you must be in that rarefied air. You must make those choices. It's that one I come back to, that you are statistically more likely to be a millionaire than you are to have a six-pack. Just think about the absurdity of that statement. That anyone, and I mean literally anyone, with enough discipline and focus can have a six-pack. You can make the choices to have a six-pack. But to become a millionaire, that is not within reach for everyone. And yet, it is more likely that you will achieve that than you will to have a six-pack. And that shows where the level of society is currently at. That shows where everybody is currently at with this. And that's why, if you can show just a little bit, just the smallest amount of resilience, of discipline, of focus, of fortitude, you will separate yourself at the highest level. You will become so rarefied that it is fucking phenomenal. So make that decision. Stop disrespecting all those who care about you. Stop disrespecting yourself. Step up and be the best version you can be for you, as well as your family, as well as your partner, as well as your friends and those who count on you. Be the best version you can be, because you deserve it as well. Show up like it matters. Show up like this is important. And see who you can be on the other side. Because it's worth it. It is so fundamentally fucking worth it that you'd be shocked. And I do mean that. You'll be shocked at what can be achieved from just committing to this. From committing to yourself. To building resilience and discipline. So I think it's worth it. I think it's worth stopping the disrespect. I think it's worth stopping just letting everything be and stepping into being the greatest version of yourself. Because you're worth it. And your family deserves it. And everyone you know deserves it. They all deserve you becoming the greatest version you can possibly be. So that is all I have for you at this point. The question is, are you ready? Are you willing to go forth and show up as the best version of yourself? Are you willing to step into your power and truly stop disrespecting all those you care about? If so, shoot me a message. Let's get you into chasing greatness daily. Let's begin that process. Let's stop, the mental masturbation and actually make 2025 the year that you see the change. You start actually taking the actions to be that version of yourself. Now, if you're not quite there yet, click the link in my bio, grab my top 10 tools to transform your mental toughness. And lastly, if you took value from this, if it spoke to you, if you're inspired by any way, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Please spread the word. But most importantly, please subscribe. It helps me, it helps you, it helps everyone. And it makes sure that you don't miss one, because I'm here every single day, sharing from the front, sharing from my experiences, sharing the lessons I learn as I go through this process. So make sure that you're there to catch every single one of them. And I'll be back again tomorrow. Until then.